I'd come into serious debt. I couldn't pay the bills, couldn't sleep. It got really hard. This friend of mine offered me to come and work with him in the UK for 6 months. But I told him I didn't want to leave my son, who was 14 at the time. He said, "No problem, bring your son. I'll pay for your flight." It felt so good to find a solution, and I came over here with high hopes. I didn't realise until we landed that my ticket was one way.
Unseen works with victims of trafficking and modern slavery that have been identified within the United Kingdom, so men, women and children. We started because we had come across trafficking in a Ukrainian orphanage. A colleague of mine started asking questions around what happens to these kids when they have to leave the orphanage. She found out actually at Turf Out Day the traffickers turn up, the kids get into the back of a car and never seen again. We then realised it was an issue in the United Kingdom as well.
When we got there were these other guys I didn't know. That's when they told me, "You're going to be working with us now. And if you don't do what we say, we're going to hurt your son."
Around 40 million people are held in situations of modern slavery. Within that figure, about 20 million people are reckoned to be in situations of forced labour, 17 million in forced marriage, and then the rest in sexual exploitation. So it's a huge global problem.
After the first year, I got my son back. I worked for another 3 years after that. By then I was barely surviving. One day I felt my back just snap. I fell to the floor and I couldn't move.
The National Crime Agency in 2017 have seen approximately 5,000 people go into the national referral mechanism. They come from 108 different nationalities. Forced labour that's found in the world's supply chains contributes $150 billion profit per annum into the illicit trade that we call modern slavery.
The guy in charge came in a van with my son. He took us to this residential area, dumped us in the street and left us there. I remember walking into the hospital and collapsing.
Unseen are specialist safe houses that really understand the issue, that can provide brilliant support.
We have people arrive with us from all sorts of different situations. We're able to give them a short period of safe accommodation and support for the practical things, accessing healthcare. We try and help people into work, into education, and accessing specialist trauma counselling to process the horrible things that have happened to them.
We've worked closely with them, supporting survivors, particularly around psychological care and sexual health care, as well as any physical injuries that they might have sustained during their captivity.
Unseen has started the first specialist accommodation and support service to support kids, to respond to the fact that even when those kids are found, 60 to 80% of them go missing within the first 72 hours, and we want to address that problem.
Unseen have a big role in working with the Anti-Slavery Partnership to disrupt modern slavery activity.
The Anti-Slavery Partnership is a multi-stakeholder group that brings together members to have a coordinated response to the problem of modern slavery. Unseen started the Modern Slavery Helpline to act as a hub for the United Kingdom. In 2017 we saw over 3,000 calls. We identified 4,500 potential victims across the United Kingdom. Over 1,000 cases of modern slavery have been raised. Unseen's training is the only CPD accredited training around modern slavery. We've trained over 1,200 individuals last year across 80 different agencies.
If through the course of staying with us, they're then able to get back the freedom that was deprived of them, when it works, it's wonderful.
I found my angels here. There's hope when there's a place like Unseen for the broken. There's hope.